Hey, how y'all doing?
Trey, it seemed like as a group, as offensive line, you guys had your best outing this last week. Just wondered if you felt that way, just how you would grade this last week maybe compared to the first couple.
Yeah, definitely just taking strides, as a unit and just, taking it game by game, day by day. And there are things we all need to work on, but really enjoy seeing the young guys get after it and, everybody in the group having success in that way. But like I said, there's still a lot of things that we all need to work on.
When Kingsley was struggling last year, you were a defender of your guy. I guess how great is it to see the strides that he's made and what he's doing in this season?
Yeah, it's awesome to see Kings go out there and doing his thing and having success. And he's a great guy and he's a great teammate, a great friend of brothers. So it's always good seeing someone that you care about, going out there balling, doing well, and finding success on the field. And you know what type of player he is, how talented he is, and he has a high ceiling and potential for what he can be.
Now that you're a little older, got the contract and so on, how is the mentorship role? How much do you enjoy that part of it?
Yeah, it's cool. Great responsibility, man. Just trying to help bring everybody alongside with Creed as well, and Jawan as well, being the older guys in the room to help guide the younger guys and uphold a standard. Like I said, sort of top to bottom leadership with Coach Heck and Corey Matei, sort of dictating, and we just sort of make sure we uphold the standard.
What's the biggest challenge of just communication on the line, and is that the sort of thing you've already seen blossom a little more with a 4 games under the belts on the left side?
Yeah, I think just continuity with the offensive line, if you look at the position as a whole, is important. Understanding the tendencies of the guys you play next to, how he's going to take a certain block, how you set something up, how he's going to respond. It is extremely important just to build that communication, that comfortability, and that comfort level beside the guy you're playing with.
And more specifically, just with Jawan, how does that communication work in terms of just spacing? And is that something you guys have to be conscious of all the time?
Yeah, just different looks that the defense presents, playing with anticipation for it. And then just practice, like the more reps you get, the more comfortable you get, the more it's almost second nature. And being able to play with somebody for a couple of years, you understand their tendencies and their habits, and you have a certain level of communication that you have going into it. And, it all helps. And like I said, there's so much importance in terms of continuity and offensive line, playing beside people.
Trey, with goal line and red zone, it's kind of your guys' chance to shine and impose your will. What do you guys kind of feel like you're at in that front?
Yeah, in critical situations, just, we can always execute and be better. And at the end of the day, I feel like for us, if we just execute what our coaches have for us, we'll be good. And, I feel like there's always so much more for us to work on as a total unit.
And with the Jaguars, the way they run the simulated pressures they're down, and then obviously the stunts, what are the challenges there for you?
Yeah, the Jaguars are extremely talented defensive front. A lot of veterans in that unit as well. They do a really good job. They're a good football team first and foremost, but especially up front, their defensive line is sort of the heartbeat of their defense, and they do a phenomenal job. And, it's NFL. Everybody's going to be good week in and week out. It's going to be a challenge up front. But, we're going to prepare. We're going to attack. And like I said, I can't give enough credit to those guys because of how well they played the game this year.
You mentioned kind of the young guys, and as you look back, when did you feel like you were the player you are today? Was there a time that took 3 games, 6 games, a year and a half? When did you feel like you'd kind of matured as a player in that process? At least for you. I know everyone's probably different, but
yeah,
at least for you, when you felt like, okay, I got this.
Yeah, it was a roller coaster. First year, to be honest with you. I feel like in the playoff time, that's when I started really super settling in. Like, I know what I am, I know what I'm doing, sort of my role in the team and the sense of urgency, getting enough looks over that year span where it's like, man, I've seen every front, every type of player. And then obviously going to year 2, you have that level of, okay, this is where I'm at, this is where I need to be. And I feel like it's a constant building process. We're all trying to learn, we're all trying to be better, and it just takes a lot of time. And for our young guys, are doing a great job of attacking it. Like I said, we have great coaches with Coach Heck, Coach Matei. They do a good job making sure the guys are ready and prepared. And mentally, man, I can't give them enough credit for how they attack every game. They handle it well. They handle it like professionals.
You're known as a very aggressive player, right? Finishing blocks. I remember that was one of the big calling cards when you were drafted. But, driving guys off the ball. When you have an RPO and, there's a limit to how far you can go downfield, how difficult is that for you, always having been, aggressive, finish, drive guys, and then you got this limit where you got to stop? Does that take something away? How much does that make it difficult to be effective in the run when there's a limit?
No, I don't really think it changes our mentality. It's sort of what we preach, like, at the end of the day, it could be a pass. We run a lot of RPOs as well. But for us, it's just getting after the guy up front, and we have systems built in our offense where we aren't down the field and doing things of that nature. But like I said, our coaches do a phenomenal job of teaching us that. There's a level of controlled aggression. I would say that's something that I had to learn and still learning at times. But I wouldn't say it really affected my play that much as a whole for the most part. You know what I mean?
Do you like the ones that aren't RPOs better, where you just know you can just drive a guy as far as you can? And
I have no preference as long as we keep pushing that ball down the field. No preference.
Last three, go ahead, Tom.
We talked about Kingsley a little bit. Simmons has had a couple of eye-popping moments for us, running down someone on an interception and things like that. I've seen way out in front on some sweep-type actions. Have there been any film room moments where you're like, wow, that's kind of different for a left tackle?
Yeah, he's had a lot. He's had a lot. I really like Josh, man. What he's done, the talent level that he has. For me, I think the sky's the limit for him, and it's really fun just being able to watch him and try to help him out in any facet of his game. And just be a resource for him, because that's how much I believe in him. And obviously with Kingsley as well, how talented he is. But it's fun. It's fun watching 71 get out there, man, and doing this thing. And there's a reason, he got drafted where he got drafted, and I think the sky's the limit for him.
Trey, now that you've won a couple games, I know you got a long season to go, but now that you've won a couple games, is there something you can look back to for how you guys handled being 0-2 that allowed you guys to rebound the way you have the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, it's the NFL. It's a tough job. It's not easy. Everyone in this league is good, or they wouldn't be in this league. And you take it one game at a time. You take it one day at a time. You take it one play at a time. And you don't blink. You don't look too far ahead. You just stay focused in the present moment, and you just try to win each day, each rep as much as you can, and you just keep pushing it forward from there.
Last one.
Trey, the 2021 draft class, there's a lot of prominent players in this game coming up. Trevor, Travis Etienne. Can you specifically talk about your draft class here with the Chiefs and how you've grown with guys like Nick Bolton and Creed and those guys?
Yeah, it's cool to see those same guys and familiar faces. Quite a few of us still here. And, just having a good friendship and a good rapport with all your guys and seeing them succeed and knowing we all came in together at the time and still having a established level of success here. It's definitely a really cool feeling. I got drafted here. I was blessed, fortunate to be here and to still go to work with like Creed, seeing him playing beside him, that's awesome. We were in draft training together, having a guy like Nick Bolton, I used to knock heads with him in Missouri, and having a guy like Noah Gray, who's a great tight end for our team, who does a lot of stuff and at times is underappreciated, but is a hell of a player. And not even including like Malik Herring and other people. I hope I'm not missing anybody else, but it's cool being able to still have those guys around and even reminisce back in the couple old years, getting a little bit older.
Thank you, everybody. Thank
Yep.
you, Trey.
Thank y'all.